Welcome to SFU Radiation Safety How to Operate a Liquid Scintillation Counter Training. In this training video, we will discuss why you may want to use a liquid scintillation counter, or LSC for short, and you will be shown how to prepare a sample for the LSC and how to operate the LSC. There are three components to the LSC. The LSC itself, where the samples are placed for measuring, the monitor, which displays the control options and live time results, and the printer, which provides a printout of results at the end of the measurement. All three components need to be working and connected in order for the LSC to work. Today we will be running swipe tests, a standard procedure that is conducted in labs that use open sources in order to check for contamination. An ethanol-soaked towelette or alcohol wipe is used to check surfaces for contamination. To prepare a sample for a large area, a 10 cm by 10 cm area should be wiped, starting at the perimeter and working your way in. The wipe can then be rolled up and placed inside a vial. For a smaller area, like a doorknob, the sample can be prepared by wiping around the handle or high-touch area, and then once again rolling up the wipe and placing it inside a vial. Finally, a background sample is created by simply rolling up a fresh wipe and placing it in a vial. A background sample is required in order to set a baseline for the number of counts and ensure the LSC is working properly. To complete the sample preparation, liquid scintillation cocktail is used as a buffer. A dispenser is used on the liquid scintillation cocktail in order to ensure that all vials have the same volume and thus the same composition. The dispenser is set to 4 milliliters. The maximum volume that should be put in the small vials we are using is 4.5 milliliters. To dispense, pull up and press down in one smooth movement. It is important that the dispenser spout does not come into contact with the vials in order to prevent contamination of the dispenser. The vial lids need to be on tight and flat. If the lids are not on flat, this can cause a spill or jam the LSC. If there is any cocktail on the side of the vial, it should be wiped off with an alcohol wipe and dried with a towelette. Any contamination on the side of the vial can degrade the LSC and result in spills or a jam. Liquid scintillation cocktail and vials can be purchased from science stores. Once the samples are prepared, they can be placed in the racks. If you are running a lot of samples, they can be labeled on top of the lid with a permanent marker. The rack needs a program card in order to specify how the LSC is going to measure your sample. The program card needs to be placed in the left-hand card holder. The program cards can be found in the top drawer under the LSC. The program cards are numbered 1 to 20. If you wish to label your racks as well, there are rack cards in the back of the drawer, numbered 1 to 62. However, these are optional. If you are measuring multiple racks, only the first one needs to have a program card. For swipe tests, when the isotope being measured is unknown, the hot lab uses program card 9. To measure a specific isotope, such as P32, the hot lab uses program card 8. If you don't know which card to use, you can check the programs on the LSC monitor. To activate the monitor, select the Main Menu button on the LSC. To view the user programs, scroll down using the control pad and select Review and Edit User Programs. The programs can then be viewed and the appropriate program card can be used. If you are unable to find the appropriate program, please ask your supervisor, the LSC manager, or the Hot Lab staff for help. Do not edit programs on your own. If you wish to make an adjustment, please refer to the radiation safety staff. When placing samples in the LSC, your rack should be oriented so that the rack numbers are facing you, the operator, and the program card is facing the detection photocells at the back of the LSC. The sample racks should be at the front of the line on the right-hand side, with the halt rack bringing up the end. The halt rack is needed in order to stop the measurement once your samples have been counted. If the halt rack is not in place, the samples will be measured indefinitely. Once the samples are in place, close the lid on the LSC. Select Main Menu and press Start to begin automatic counting. The LSC will scan the program card and begin counting with the specified program number. You should always stay and listen or look for the first vial in order to make sure everything is working properly. Two common points of failure at this point are due to the card being unable to be read or the printer connection malfunctioning. If the program card cannot be read, the program card should be replaced with a card that has a matte finish and is crease-free. If the printer is disconnected, the printer can be turned off and on and then press Line Feed to reconnect the printer. While the samples are being measured, the monitor will show the program card being used, a countdown of the measurement time, and the number of counts in real time. If at any point during the measurement you would like to stop counting a sample, select Stop Count to skip over the vial that is currently being measured and move on to the next one. If at any point you would like to stop completely, press both reset buttons simultaneously. Once the measurement is complete, a printout of the measurement results can be taken from the printer. In order to feed the paper, press FF Load and then use scissors to cut off your printout. Before disposing of your samples, it is important to check the results to ensure you do not need to recount your samples. Anything above 3 times the number of background counts needs to be inspected further to determine whether or not there was contamination. A common occurrence that gives the appearance of contamination is chemiluminescence, in which spurious amounts of light are emitted due to chemical reactions occurring in the cocktail, resulting in a large number of counts, often seen in the tritium window. If you suspect chemiluminescence, the samples should rest for a few minutes in the dark before being recounted. If chemiluminescence has occurred, after recounting, the number of counts should drop off significantly. If the number of counts remains consistent, then this is not chemiluminescence and the area is contaminated and would require decontamination. A common area of contamination is a pipette tip, which can be decontaminated by wiping with an alcohol wipe before doing another swipe test to check again for any remaining contamination. For a larger area, count-off can be used, or a spill kit may be required. Once the measurements indicate that there is no contamination, the samples are ready for disposal. The cocktail can be drained into a liquid waste disposal container stored in the fume hood. The wipes and vial can be placed into the low-level solid or high-level solid waste bin, depending on whether or not the wipe was contaminated. This concludes how to use a liquid scintillation counter training. If you have any further questions, please contact the radiation safety staff. Thank you.